Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Dad Bod Transformation Podcast. I'm your host and resident nutritionist, John Kowaleski, and I'm here with one of our other resident coaches, Philip Bowman. Figured we'd sit down, have a little conversation. He could tell us some more about himself, what inspired him to get involved in this whole thing, and how he handles balancing family, competing in bodybuilding competitions, and the like. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Just sit back and relax. Philip, first question I got for you, buddy, is it's not really a question. Just tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, sure. So I am 44 years old, and I currently, for my real life job, am a sales director at a merchant services company. That means we do credit card processing for businesses. So I run a team of sales agents that do that. But that's really kind of boring. That's not what we're here to talk about. So what I really do, what I really enjoy is working out, helping others get in shape, teaching others proper ways for workouts, for nutrition, motivating guys, especially maybe dads that kind of maybe have lost their way or lost their interest in working out or getting fit, and kind of, be I suppose a mentor or help them to reach their goals of where they want to be and keep them motivated.
Awesome.
For me, I'm married. I have one son. My job is pretty busy. It is flexible, but it also is very busy. So I understand, some people say they don't have the time to, they run out of time to, and I understand that dilemma, but I feel like I can help them with that, or find the time, or give them the motivation to find that time to get a workout in, and to get healthier and to get fit. So that's really my real passion, my real thing that I really enjoy. And I love myself going to the gym, reaching goals, and doing my best I can there also.
Awesome. Now let me ask you, have you always worked out, or was there a time that you were, not as healthy as you are now, or out of shape or whatever?
Yeah. So growing up, I always wanted to be in shape, or to be be a bunny quotes bodybuilder. I mean, I was always in there, I thought I was really cool, the people that were, but I never did a thing about it. I really was not very athletic at all. I played tennis, which I'm not saying is not athletic, but we, minimally hit the weight room. I was good at tennis, but all in all, I was not an athlete or a jock or anything like that at all. So, I went to college, and I would sometimes go to the gym and do stuff, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And I met a friend. He was a little older, and he'd worked out for several years, and we started working out in his garage. And the good part is we became best buddies. He ended up being the best man at my wedding.
That's
really
awesome.
yeah, it is. We really got along really well. I mean, he really helped me with a lot of things. But he was kind of gifted with great genetics, and he didn't really have to worry about what he ate. He, just kind of looked pretty good without too much effort.
He was one of those guys then.
Yeah, one of those. And so I kind of followed his lead and just kind of ate what I wanted to eat. He was more of a hard gainer, so he didn't really he could just eat what he wanted and just pack on the pounds, and it would kind of come on as muscle. But I tend to be heavy. I tend to be bulky, and I don't really have trouble putting on the pounds, but I have trouble not looking like a big potato. So, so I always have worked out since then. That was probably about age 24 when I started doing that. And I always had worked out, but I would work out, and I just kind of didn't really know the proper way to eat. I mean, I had ideas and I would read, but I didn't really know. I didn't really have the motivation. One time I remember I bought like a whole package of croissants, and I would have them like every morning for breakfast. And for some reason, I thought that was healthy. And then looking back, it's just like a ton of carbs and calories. And I think I even probably put butter on it. I don't even know why I thought that was good, but
Absolutely.
at the time I did. I remember thinking, why am I getting heavy? I mean, these croissants are great breakfast. I mean, it was just stuff I just didn't really know. I just didn't really know. And so, I got in my first time that I really got into being serious about really making a change is I thought, well, I go to the gym probably 4 to 5 times a week, sometimes even 6, but I really don't look like it. I mean, I feel like I could do better. And so I just really started to get my nutrition, just like really try and understand it. And
Right.
I got started with some of the Jim Stepani workouts that he has and kind of tried to learn some of the things he had. And that's kind of really where I first got started. I got into his Facebook group. I got really, some of the guys that were there were in really good shape. And I tried to follow what they did. I left Jim Stepani, and I like Jim Stepani. I didn't like some of the admins of his Facebook group, but I did like Jim Stepani. I still do. He has good ideas. I left that and started doing Beachbody, which a lot of people poo-poo as just multi-level marketing, and there is sales to it, but there's some really good people in really good shape there, and they have some really good programs. And so from that, they had a physique competition that they would do, and I was just like, wow, that's really cool. The guy that brought me aboard did it. He placed in the top 10. And I mean, for me, if you knew, like the kid that I was, just kind of a pudgy, nerdy, maybe not really athletic kid, to dream of even taking my shirt off on stage was like a big deal. And I just thought, I'm going to do that. So that was my goal for a year, and I did that, and gave me some confidence. I placed in the top 10. And then I thought, I'm going to try an NPC show. And so from then on, I just started learning more and more and educating myself more and more and more about not necessarily the workouts. I've always known the workouts and know how to structure those pretty well, but really learning about the nutrition and really just disciplining myself. So the answer to all that is I've done a lot of trial and error too. I've done some things that didn't work for me that work for other people. I tried keto. It did not work for me. I'm not saying it doesn't work for a lot of people. I know a lot of people in dad bod love it, and that's great, but it did not work for me.
It's not for everybody. It really isn't.
It's not. I like carb cycling, and that's really what I've settled on as a way for me, to reach the goals that I want. And that's kind of what I promote for the guys that I train.
Right.
But, different things work for different people. But long story short to all that, that's how I got to where I was today. So anyway, I did do an NPC show, a physique show, and I didn't do very well in it. And I even had a coach that helped me, and I just didn't do very well. And I was literally crushed. And I thought, I'm never going to work out again. I'm going to get fat. And then I just decided that's ridiculous. Everybody is more than what a judge thinks. I looked good, but I didn't do well with the judges, and you're more than that, and your health is more than that. So I persevered. I did a few classic physique shows this last summer and did what I would consider I did well in them, in a couple of them. So anyway, it's all a growing process. And so I feel like the things that I have learned, I can help impart to these other people that, maybe they don't have to spend 4 or 5 years like I did, kind of doing trial and error, 5 or 6, or, maybe I can help them now with that goals and those insights. So really long answer to a short question. No, I've not always been a jock. I mean, the people from high school probably don't even believe who I am, because it's so much different than what I used to be, really.
Right. Yeah. And actually it's kind of funny because you answered that really wasn't a planned question. I just kind of threw it in, because you and I have followed each other on Facebook for a while, and in some other groups as well as Dad Bod. So I knew a little of your history going in. But it's like, I knew that it was obvious that you had been training for a while. And I just needed to throw that question out there. And then my follow-up question to that was, what inspired you to start coaching people? And you just answered it with all in one question. So that works out good. But I mean, I totally agree with you. You'll see I posted, a lot of the other coaches do in the group a lot, because we get a lot of questions about diet. Matt Griffiths just did a video here a little while back, and it was like, he was talking about so many people are asking about diet, and then you see these people that are posting like form check videos and whatnot, and you see that their form is so far off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while when you break it right down to brass tacks, 80% of what you're going to get out of what you're doing in the gym happens in the kitchen. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
no doubt about it. I mean, I would be, I feel safe to say that 80% of it's in the kitchen, 10% of it's in the gym, and 10% of it's recovery. You've got to recover properly, or nothing that you do is going to work out right. So, it's really important, and we say it all the time. But what you spoke on was dead on. One diet does not work for everybody. Everybody does things differently. I learned through a lot of trial and error myself before I actually studied to become a nutritionist.
Mm-hmm.
And I went from, my story is pretty well known at this point. I went from 405 pounds and almost dying from a diabetic coma to what I am now.
Yeah,
So,
awesome.
Yeah, but you learn these things through your own trial and error. And it's really, really great when people like you get inspired and want to help other people as well.
Yeah,
So,
and as far as the diet thing, I think is so important because we, like I'll train guys and they'll do the workouts. The ones that really stick to the diets, some of them will admit to me they haven't stayed on diet, and the ones that stay on diet are the ones that, you really see those results from and really
Absolutely.
see it. And so I'll see people now that I haven't seen in the last, like maybe I haven't seen in 4 or 5 years. I ran into this dad at Cub Scouts that I used to know through business, and he goes, "Wow, Philip," he said, what have you done? When did you start working out? I said, I've always worked out, but I got more focused. I got my diet in shape, and that really made the big difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen it in my own life. I'm 50. I'll be 53 in January, and I'm in better shape than I was when I was 30. And I see people that I haven't seen for 15, 20 years, and if they don't see me on Facebook or whatnot, they just can't believe it's me.
Right?
So,
yeah, that's amazing.
Okay, so now as far as when you're actually training people, what's your philosophy, not just about nutrition, because I know you do a variety of things because you've tried a variety of things, but as far as actual training, the workouts in the gym, what's your philosophy? I mean, are you more a volume type person? Are you more like, I know one of the other guys that I spoke to was all about intensity, not having to work out so long in the gym. So what's your philosophy when it comes to training?
Well, I kind of bring everything from sort of a bodybuilder type perspective, because that's what I consider myself, which I have to say that's really weird for me to say that about myself. It seems like that doesn't really fit. But anyway, that's what I consider myself. So that's the training I do. Now, when I say that, that doesn't mean everybody has to do a competition or has to train like a competition. But I mean, if some people come to me and they, they want to do like a ton of cardio, maybe just drop, or maybe they have, different goals like to run a marathon or whatever. I usually don't do that. That's just really not what I'm looking for. Guys that want to, get into a bodybuilder-esque or more of a built shape. So to say that, I mean, my training is usually 5. Well, I always ask the person I'm training, how many days a week can you work out? And if they can do 5, we do a program for 5. If they can do 6, we do 6. If they can only do 4, we do 4. I also will write a workout for people at home. I will write a workout for people at the gym. I prefer a gym because there's more equipment, but if they can only do it at home, then they can only do it at home.
Right.
I've done some women that only want to work out at home. And I guess I should clarify, when I say bodybuilder, I mean, I want people that are wanting to do weights, want to work with heavy, work with weights and work their body like that. Not maybe people that want to do just extreme cardio or extreme like burpees or things like that, because I don't like that. I don't want to make anybody else do that. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So I train that way. And what I do is I try and mix weights with cardio blasts that they can do in the, in the morning or in the, whatever in the day. So they may do 2 to 3 sets, throw in a cardio blast of, let's say, kettlebell swings, burpees for, 5 to 8 minutes with 20-second intervals or something like that to really get their heart up and going. So we do that in the middle, and then we do something like that at the end of the workout.
Gotcha. So you sprinkle those in like in between sets and whatnot.
Yeah. So they don't have to have so they don't have to come back to the gym and do a cardio, a cardio time, or they don't have to come and do it on the treadmill. Now, some people don't lose the weight fast enough and they don't drop it. So we may say, hey, let's throw in a 20-minute on the treadmill or 30-minute on the treadmill to get you where you want to be if they have the time to do that. But I guess what I want to say is, mine is I guess my thing would be people that want to build to build a good muscular shape, whether that's either putting on weight and muscles or dropping body fat to reveal more muscles. We can do both of those things, but who wants, someone that's wanting to put on a good physique is what I'm looking for, man or woman, or female, who wants to contour body in a certain way. So that's really who I am, and that's what I have. But I work with beginners. I work with, intermediate. Advanced people probably usually don't need me, but most of the people I work with are beginners and intermediates, or people, a lot of people that have said, I work out at the gym, but I'm not getting results, or I used to work out at the gym and I've been off for 2 years. Can you get me back motivated? And that's really what, it is. And so I'll ask them, what's your goal? What do you want? Do you want to gain weight? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to get bigger? Do you want to get smaller? And then we work out a program and a diet for them and go from there.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's the best way to do it as far as I see. Long before I got certified, there were a number of times that I helped people because me personally, I have a wheelhouse. You have a wheelhouse. You have the certain type of people that you look for to train because they're the type of people that you want to train and they're what fits your style. I believe I can't remember if it was Chris or Matt, but one of them was talking about it in the group in the post, and I totally agreed. Every client isn't for every trainer, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're going to be, me personally, I can train anybody, but my specialty is dealing with middle-aged people who have metabolic disorders, type 2 diabetes, and things like that. People that need to work on their weight loss at the same time that they're working on their physical fitness and being able to structure it to where they can deal with it. And I'm experienced not only from the aspect of being trained in it, but going through it myself and experiencing the weight loss and reversing type 2 diabetes and all that. So,
yeah,
I 100%, agree with everything you said. Absolutely.
Great. Well, and for me, some people that do have special needs, I admit I do not have any certification. So everything that I've learned, I've taught myself. I'm not opposed to getting a training license in the future or training certification. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but basically everything I've has been from what's worked for me or from trial and error, things like that. So sometimes some people that have special needs, I may not be the person for them, and I will definitely tell them that.
Right.
But everybody has a niche of people that they work well with, or that they kind of some people glom onto me or attracted to working with me for whatever reason. Some people are attracted to you, maybe your beard, you never know. But sometimes people have an attraction to you, for whatever reason that they feel connected to you. And that's kind of the way it works out, and that's kind of the way it happens. So
absolutely. You see it all the time, and it's people see you in the gym and just the way you look. Like, I can imagine, guys see you in the gym and they look at you. I've seen pictures from when you competed and whatnot. You look like you do bodybuilding. So guys in the gym are going to look at you and say, hey, this guy looks like he's at the goal or working towards the goal that I want to be at. So he's the guy that I want to work with. I don't know what people think about me. The beard and, I get this crazy mountain man. It's like my wife is in the Guard and there are actually soldiers in her unit that have seen me in the gym and they're like, we're not going up to talk to him. We're just going to leave him alone. Looks like he's going to rip somebody's head off. People make associations. And whether it's by watching what you do or looking at you or whatever the case may be, and they're going to do what they feel comfortable with. And as coaches, the best thing that we can do is cater to that. Either we're for them or we're not. So
right, exactly, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so the people that I really, obviously this is going to sound like the dumbest statement, but the people that I really like to work with the most are the ones that are motivated. Now, I mean, obviously everybody's motivated or they're not going to want a trainer, but there's,
Right.
you'd be surprised how many I say, send me a check-in pic every Monday with your weight, and half of them don't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you even paying me? I should not why are you even doing this if you don't want to,
Right.
I don't know how to alter your diet. I don't know how to look at and say we need to work on this if you don't send me any pictures, and it's just very, that's very odd. But the people that really want to make a change will do that. Some of them say they want to make a change. Some of them that really want to make a change want to make a change,
Yeah. And that's the thing. You cannot make your clients accountable. They have to be accountable on their own, and they have to want to be accountable. And those people that truly want to change, they will be. It would be.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah. I've had people come along that, they'll work with me for a while and then they'll leave. And honestly, they may not look any different than when they started, and I'll feel like I failed them. And could I have done better? I probably could have done better. There's probably things I could have done better. But I also feel like, if they aren't giving me the proper feedback or we're not having the proper conversations or whatever, it's hard to make it work or it's hard to make it change. And that's probably a 50-50 situation, probably my 50% them, 50% me. But I want the people that really are motivated to change, that follow through with the instructions we have and are having, you'll get people that are just, they'll send me a picture every day after their workout. And it's like, that's what I love, because they're feeling it. They're feeling good about it. They'll ask me all these minuscule questions. And I think it's great because they're concerned about so many things, and they know that they're, that they're really into it. So I think that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So. And the thing is the people that don't want to, actually participate, or they don't want to follow instruction or whatnot, 9 times out of 10, and I learned this not through my experience, but actually through my training, there's some kind of limiting factor or some kind of limiting belief that they have that doesn't have them sold on what it is that they're trying to do. And there's nothing you could do about that. I mean, you can try to address those issues. I know when I take on a new client, they kind of get mad at me because I have them fill out a ton of paperwork. But a lot of the paperwork that I have them fill out are specific questions designed to give me insight into their mindset. I want to know how they feel when they cheat and they eat that bowl of ice cream. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just know that they did it. I want to know how they felt about it. I want to know how they felt before they did it, because those things will help me help them in the long run if they're serious. And if they're not, myself, Matt, Chris, we're going to be just like you. We're going to run into those people that they're not really serious about it, and all they're doing is wasting our time and their money.
And part of the reason I kind of know it is I honestly have probably the worst mental outlook sometimes of anybody. I get so down on myself, and I have in the past. I'll blame my coach. I'll blame my gym. I'll blame whatever. And blame is really me. If someone's giving me a program, I'm not meeting my goals, that's my fault for not either a saying it, not following it, or not looking, or whatever. And really, the reason I think I feel like I can help some people. I had a coach that helped me because he said he'd had bad mental outlooks at times, and I do too. I mean, as far as the bodybuilding, or not all in all, I'm not suffering with depression, but sometimes I get really down because I don't feel like I'm making the progress I'd like to be. And I can just understand it, because I used to be the person that would just quit, probably, that's also was part of my inconsistencies. I might get frustrated and not go to the gym for, 2 weeks, then go back, or 3 weeks, something like that, or in the workout after 25 minutes or 30, whatever.
Right.
And so that's why I feel like I can relate to people like that, is because I have had a lot of struggles like that and still do.
Sure. We all
but
do.
the people that are real about it admit that they do. Some people glide through and won't admit it, but they have had some as well. So
We all have,
yeah.
well, it's like I'm struggling right now. I've been dealing with these knee issues since like April.
Yeah.
I had the meniscus fixed in one knee, and while I was rehabbing that knee, I put so much stress and strain on my other knee that what cartilage was left in there just shredded, and I went bone
It's
on.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and it can be it can really bring you down. It can get into your head. And I'm facing the fact that I can't go back to my job, the job that I did do. I can't go back to that type of work anymore because I can't be on my feet running around on concrete floors for 12 hours a day. Just can't do
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah.
life gets to us. It doesn't matter whether it's life in a gym, life in the kitchen, or just life in general. It gets to everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're a trainer or Joe Blow in the gym just trying to get healthy.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yep,
exactly right. So
okay,
just persevere.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I have one final question for you.
Sure.
And it might take a little bit of thought, but it's one that I'm going to ask all the coaches, and I've got my answer prepared for when somebody interviews me.
Okay.
If you could affect one thing about health and fitness on a global level, how would you do it, and what would it be?
Oh, wow. I feel like Miss America. This is like a really, at the end where they ask the question.
Yes.
I'm going to say world peace. How's that? That's just my answer.
Do not say world peace. World peace is not allowed. World peace is not allowed.
Okay. So I would say, I don't know. I'm going to have to think of how I'm going to do it. But what I would say is I would like people to end their love affair with bad food. I see so many people, they post pictures of their chicken fried steak and their mashed potatoes they had, or they have their, huge plates of cherry cobbler or this or that. And they act like they've reached the ultimate pinnacle because they get to eat a lot of bad food, and I just feel like saying bad food doesn't like you. It only affects you negatively. It puts fat on you. It hurts your heart. You're finding comfort in something that is inanimate, really. You're putting your people. It may sound ridiculous, but people put their so much faith in food that's bad for you, or junk food.
Right.
If they couldn't even do without it. And so I just wish that people could understand. I think that's one of the things that I've learned through competing is that food becomes fuel for you. Food is not comfort for you.
Exactly.
Find comfort in your food or enjoyment in your food continually. Now, I love good food. I cheated. I had a hamburger tonight, but if you continually find comfort in that food, you're looking in the wrong place, I think, and it's only going to come back to bite you. So I would like people to understand that food is fuel. Food is not your comfort. Food is not your life. And I don't know the way that I'd necessarily do that on a worldwide level, except just to educate people more about how bad it can be, how bad the effects of overeating can be. I have friends my age that have had to have, because of overweight, had to have knee replacements because they have no guidelines on what they eat. Now, you don't have to live like a competitor like I might do. You don't have to live like that, but you have to realize that, when the food is eating how you want or living how you want food-wise, is going to come back to only have negative repercussions and negative effects on you. Especially the older you get, the heavier you're going to get, the harder it's going to be to drop weight, the harder it's going to be on your body. All those things, your heart, diabetes, everything like that, it's going to get that much harder for you. So the only thing I know to say is through education, and, educating the effects of what overeating or eating unhealthy food can do for you, and that's the only answer that I really specifically know. But I would like to that's one of the things that I really like when I try to train people, is make them understand the diet. A lot of them will come aboard and they've never had a diet. They've never had a food plan, and they just do what they want to do. They've worked out, but eating what they want to eat. And, I want them to understand there's two components to it like that. So,
Yeah. Because it's like people, I mean, I know a lot of people use like calorie tracking apps, which I'm a big, I'm a big person on telling
yes,
my clients track your calories, because if nothing else, when I first start working with you for the first month or two, I want you tracking, because that way, until you get a general idea of what you need to be eating on a daily basis. But you get these people that, like MyFitnessPal is a really good app, but it has
it
this
is.
thing in there where you can put in all the food that you eat, but then you could put in your exercise, and it subtracts the amount of calories that you supposedly burned
Yeah.
from your calories. And people say, oh, well, I worked out, so I've got an extra 600 calories I can eat. And that's not how it
Yeah.
works.
I'm going to go to town
It
with
works like
that.
that, but
Yeah.
that's not how you lose weight.
Exactly. That is exactly right. So
Yep.
that would be really what I would like people to see. And I mean, this may sound ridiculous, but sometimes I would like people to be, I don't know if I'm going to say, people to be ashamed of what they're eating, because like, I mean, instead of like reveling in the great things they have, maybe be ashamed that they actually ate that. That may be overboard for me to think that, but that's sort of the way that I look at it. And I feel like our culture has gone. I saw something on Facebook today and it made me laugh, and I reposted it because someone said, why is it that if you are in shape and proud of it, that you are narcissistic and vain, but if you're obese and overweight and you're proud of it, you're bold and courageous, and it's
Yep.
like, that is true. A heavy person can say, I'm going to wear my bikini, or, a really overweight person, because they ate what they wanted, can wear a bikini and say, look how courageous I am. No, I don't think so. And so I think that people, you know, if our love affair with food, our love affair with things that are bad for us, our comfort in that, if that could decrease or diminish, I think that there'd be a lot of healthier people out there, and
Absolutely.
a lot of honestly, I think happier people, because I've been I've never been what I call super really heavy, but I have been about 220 pounds, and not muscle, just 220 pounds of dad bod, really. And you probably more. You're not comfortable when
No.
you're
No.
your clothes are not comfortable. You're not comfortable in life. You're not comfortable breathing. It's not comfortable.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I can remember times where I would literally, I couldn't bend over to tie my shoes without running out of breath.
yeah,
I couldn't stay bent over for long periods of time. I had a lot of problems with my lower back when I was heavy. Um, there were a number of things that I just could not do when I weighed 400 pounds.
yeah,
And I was one of those people that I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
should have my diabetes and heart disease and cancer run rampant on both sides of my family, and I
yeah,
should have been smarter, but I
yeah,
wasn't, because I was like so many other people out here, just like, well, you know, you only live once, so you might as well just eat what you want to
right,
eat, enjoy
right,
yourself.
right,
And not until you have that wake up call where something happens that
yeah,
you finally say, hey, okay, now I need to find out what I need to do to get healthy,
yeah.
because obviously what I have been doing is all wrong.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be condescending to some people, and I don't mean to sound like, some people have legitimate weight problems,
Yes.
genetics,
Hmm.
and genetics. My genetics are to be heavier, and I understand that. But I think if a lot of people are honest with themselves, they are not eating the way they should, and you know, just kind of like you said, just being like, oh, I'm going to live, enjoy what I have, and I
Hmm.
shouldn't have to have any guidelines. And also, the thing I want to stress is it's a process to learn it. You don't have to go from, you know, chicken fried steak and hamburgers every day to chicken and rice. I mean, it's a
No.
process to educate yourself and make changes. But if people can begin that process, they
Hmm.
can take those steps.
Yes, absolutely. It's, one of my favorite quotes, and I can't remember who said it, but when I was first getting started my fitness journey, one of my favorite quotes was this guy who said, if you don't do anything but get up off the couch and walk around the block, if that's all you do for one day, you lapped everybody that's still sitting on the couch that didn't get up and do anything. And that's
Yeah,
the
that's
truth.
true.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
true.
You know, every journey begins with one step.
Yeah.
Every journey begins with one step. And all it takes is realizing that you need to make a change and taking that first step. And I don't know about you, but for me, as I watched myself go from where I was to where I am, it's addicting. It's as addicting as bad food ever thought of being. You see
Hmm.
yourself making progress, and you want to make more progress. You want to lose more weight. You want to build
Hmm.
more muscle.
Hmm.
And if you're going to be obsessed about something, don't be obsessed with bad food. Be obsessed with
Right.
make it
Right.
your obsession.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, you put as much time into bad things as you can good things. So why
Yep,
not focus on the good things? And I will
absolutely.
say, just to throw that out there, you talked about the obsession. Sometimes that's been hard for me, having a family, having a job, having my son, to stop my time at the gym. I need to get home. I need to be with my family, and family
Sure.
always comes first. And so you have to make the time for the gym. Sometimes it can be addicting. You're right. And just 10 minutes more or whatever it is. And
Hmm.
but you're right. Once you see those results, you want to keep seeing more of those results. And so I feel like, people that I work with or people I can train, once they can begin to see those results. I love it when I get messages from people and they say, I appreciate all you've done. You've made so many changes, and I really am loving this. Things are going awesome, and that they're liking it and they're enjoying the process.
Sure.
They may not turn out to be somebody that does competitions, or they may be, but they're making steps and they're enjoying what they're doing. And that's great.
Right. Well, the bottom line is they don't have to compete.
No,
Because it's a
no.
healthy lifestyle either way it goes. So it doesn't matter.
Exactly, for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
So
All right, bud. Well, I sure do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out
I
with us
enjoyed it.
here. Um, you guys be looking for all the posts and whatnot that Philip puts in the site. And don't forget to check out his profile on the Dad Bod website. Everything going on in the group. Um, Philip, thanks again. And guys, till I see you again, you know my motto: playtime's over. Get your asses back to work.